We can finally build proper FC25 starter teams. Thanks to Easy SBC's brand new squad builder for FC25, the full database is there and we can build some cool starter teams and actually have a look at some cards. Now, if you didn't see the other day, we made a Premier League starter team, one that's going to be like not the cheapest of things, but like a good, desirable team with some potential upgrades in there, players you can look to obtain after a little period of time, sort of build around a couple of core players first. Today, because it was asked in the comments, we are building a Serie A starter team. So let's get straight into it. We are going to be running a 4-4-2 according to some of the tactical preset things on AZSBC, because they do give you like meta ratings. I think it was the second or third most meta formation according to their algorithms, however they work that out. But we're looking at a 4-4-2, and again, this is like a slightly, it's definitely more budget than the Premier League team is for sure, but there obviously will be a little bit of price. There's some of these cards with players that will be a little bit expensive at the start of the game, but nothing too crazy drastic, definitely cheaper than the Prem team. So we're going to start off with the goalkeeper, and as I said in the other video, this is kind of a bit of a prediction because it's very difficult to know who is going to be good in the game. So I've just gone with Serie just because he looks half decent, you know, 80 diving, 84 reflexes, 83 positioning. He doesn't look too bad, but again, keepers are pretty hard to predict. Then we'll go to left back, and I'll be honest with you, left back options outside of Hernandez aren't that crazy. There is DeMarco, but I am having a little look here at Mario Rui. I think he looks quite good in game. I'm just going to put everything on basic and zero chemistry just for the sake of like you see their base stats initially. But overall, I think pretty good. The strength is a touch low, but otherwise, I think it is quite a nice starter centre-back, left-back, sorry, which is what we're kind of looking for. First centre-back we're going to look at is Kusunu, and we will partner him. I might as well get both in while I am here. And there are some decent-ish looking options here. There's players like Godfrey, who was really good at the start of the game last time. This Saul Coco looks half decent as well. You've got Danilo, looks not too bad. But I am actually, and I'm looking to my left here because I do have it open next to me as well, I'm going with Bissek. Now, I know in regards to meta rating, he was quite a bit lower than some of the options there, but he was so good in 24, especially once he had his Evos and his upgrades and everything. But I personally think that the stats on these two look really nice. So you've got some great physicality and defending stats here on Kusunu, 82 defense and 80 physicality, 76 stamina, which is plenty for a centre-back early doors in the game, with 82 strength. The pace split's a little bit high, but 80 pace overall is not too bad. And then you've got Bissek, who's got a really nice pace split there, 74 and 75. Again, good stamina. The defending obviously is a touch lower, and just to show you, I would be going shadow, because once you put a shadow, you've got 83 pace and then 82 defending, which is very nice indeed. But really good physical stats, great jumping, really good in the air. He's a tall lad as well. He is 6'5", so he is not a short guy, with really good strength. So really nice starter card there. And the right back in our little starter team, again, I feel like the right back has got limited options, and I'm going to go for one of the two more expensive options. I think honestly Dumfries and Di Lorenzo are both going to be quite expensive. I've gone with Dumfries because I think he'll be the better of the two cards, but realistically I think both will be relatively expensive. I do think Dumfries will potentially be more expensive, a big part of that being 88 physicality, great stamina, lovely strength, great jumping and heading accuracy. I think could be a very good card. Again, the pace split is a little bit off, so you want to boost the acceleration just a little bit, but that is the defense. I do think it's pretty budget. I think Kusunu and I think Dumfries will have a little bit of price to them. Again, Mario Rui, I would probably say is the third, maybe fourth best left back in the Serie A, so could have some value because the more expensive options are much more expensive. But let's go into the midfield. We're going to start off with David Neres here. Honestly, it's not that he's underwhelming, it's that I think he sort of fits that bracket of a good card without being an amazing card. 80 rated, he's got 86 pace and then 75 shooting, 75 passing and the 86 dribbling, which is phenomenal. This card for me, Deadeye all day, every day, unless you're not looking to shoot with him, in which case Catalyst, because it gets his pace to plus 90 and it gets his passing to 80 something. But doing the Deadeye obviously gets both of these to 80. And then at that point, 86, 86, 80, 80, you're looking pretty decent. But I think he looks good without looking like crazy. In the midfield, we're going to start off with the man without a face, apparently, and that is Rabiot. I think this card, yet again, looks pretty solid. Not too far off of being Hooligan in the stats that are somewhat important. Agility and balance are a touch on the low side of things, which is not crazy ideal, but it's not, I think, a problem for the card. I think the card will be fine with them being that touch on the low side, but the physicality stats are perfect. 92 stamina for a centre mid is amazing. The pace split, again, a little bit far, but it's not the end of the world. That's more of a preference for me. I like them being within 5 of each other, for those who don't know. But we're going to be partnering him with Reinders, who I think will have some value to him as well. I think him and Rabiot will be pricey without being expensive. I think in comparison to the midfield I made for the Prem team, this is a much cheaper midfield pairing. But I think this will be like your box to box with Rabiot sort of staying back a little bit. Him having the 4-star is lovely. 6'1", so he's not short. Great agility and balance. Really, really good stamina. So again, him and Rabiot will just be running for you non-stop in the middle of the park there. I'm just going to put the basic on there, sorry. But overall, I think it's a really good card. For me personally, I'd be putting a shadow on it. I know the intent is for him to get forward a little bit, but the shadow just means that actually he will help Rabiot that bit more and not leave it all down to Rabiot to do all the dirty work. On the right-hand side, for me, I think one of the most underrated looking cards for the start of this game for the Serie A, and that is actually Pulisic. Now, he is 4-star, 5-star, which is lovely. Really good pace. The split, just over what I normally look for, but it's not a problem. Dribbling, this card absolutely comes to life. Really good stuff here. I have touched on this card in a previous video, but for those who haven't potentially seen this, just going over it again a little bit. And then the dribbling, the shooting and the passing are both really good as well. So for me personally, I think this card is a real good no-brainer. If you're looking to start a Serie A team and you don't pack like, a Rafael Leao or someone crazy good out wide, I think Pulisic is definitely a shout for you. I think he will have some value to him. I think the 4-star, 5-star will add a bit of value, and just the general pace split here being pretty good with a high pace and the dribbling being nice and high. I do think he'll have some value purely because of that. Front two, I didn't necessarily struggle with the front two, but like it feels like if you're not going with Martinez or Leao or Dybala, everything looks a little bit okay rather than amazing. But I've gone with Lookman and I've gone with Dovbyk. Now, Lookman 4-star, 4-star, again, without any stat boost or anything. You've got 84 pace with the not worst in the world pace split, but I prefer it a touch better. 3 phenomenal shooting stats. In my opinion, 3 of the most important shooting stats, which is good positioning, good finishing, and good shot power. The passing is a touch low, and the curve, I think, is a touch underwhelming. For me, I think you kind of really want to put either a Hawk or probably a Hunter on this card, because his dribbling is through the roof. It's great. The composure, again, a touch on the low side, but outside of that, that dribbling stat is perfection, and the stamina is a touch on the low side as well. So that, like, when I say they all look good without being amazing, that kind of, I think, covers exactly what I mean. I think he looks good. He doesn't look amazing, but I think he'll be a good price without being an extortionate price. And Dovbyk is one that surprised me a touch. I think his card looked better than I expected. 3-star, 4-star, so him being 3-star skills, obviously for some people that will be a bit of a turn off, but pace split within 5, fine with me. 84 pace as well is really nice. And again, these shooting stats are incredible. Realistically, if his volleys was even like mid to high 70s, that's an 87 plus shooting stat, let's be real. So unless you're somebody who is actively going to be taking volleys all the time, it is an absolute no-brainer to me that this card should be considered for your team. He just looks insanely good in the shooting stats, especially if you're looking to run a Serie A team, or for some reason you need a Ukrainian link. He's your guy. Passing stats, okay. The vision's good. The short passing's good. The curve is not great. So again, he's kind of like a normal shooter, normal shot taker. But again, you could boost that realistically. For me personally, I know they're saying a Hunter, and that does take him to 92 pace, 91 shooting, which is phenomenal. I would be half tempted with going for like an engine. Gets the pace up to 88, gets the dribbling up a little bit, and then gets the curve to within the 70s, which I think is quite nice as well. For me, that's what I'd go for, because I think the shooting stats already look pretty good. But on the basic, mid to low 70s in the agility and balance, which for a guy who's 6'2", isn't the end of the world. And then really good strength and jumping and heading accuracy with not bad stamina. For me personally, I think this looks like a good, fun little team. I think it looks pretty usable. And again, like I said, compared to the Prem team that we looked at in the last video, I would say that this is going to be a darn sight cheaper. The meta rating, as I say, everyone here, bar a couple of players, are B+, according to the meta rating that these guys have managed to work out, which fair play to them. I haven't got a Scooby what's going on. But overall, I would say relatively cheap, and pretty good looking across the board. There's no bad cards. I think the weakest side of this team is definitely this left-hand side, because the alternative options are just so expensive. If you end up getting the coins, you could go for DeMarco. I just think that he will be considerably more expensive because he is the best option outside of Hernandez. I think Kostic's defending is just a touch on the low side for me for a left back, and I don't think Spinazzola looks that great defensively either, which is why I went with Mario Rui, because I think he ticks that box. But let me know what you think of this team. Let me know if you're looking to run a Serie A starter squad, and if this team looks like it could be the team for you. But comment down below any other teams, leagues, or sort of concepts that you would like to see me try and build some fun starter teams for, and leave a like on the video if you found it enjoyable, and hit that sub button to be told anytime that we upload a video. FC25 coming out. Videos are going to be coming much more consistently, and I cannot wait to get started when the full game is out. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. Take care.